When your cat looks the way they do, their coat color, their patterns, do you actually know what that means? Yes, it is just genetics, just fur, just appearance. But behind that color there is something deeper that most people miss. It is one of the most emotionally loaded signals your cat carries with them every single day. And if you ignore it, which most owners do, you might be misunderstanding the way your cat experiences the world and the way they connect with you. Let's start with what your cat's color really means. Have you ever noticed how people say orange cats are crazy or black cats are calm? Most people think coat color is just random, just a visual trait. But here is what is actually happening. Your cat's color is often linked to inherited behavioral tendencies. Studies on domestic cats reveal that certain coat colors correlate with temperament patterns, not because color changes personality directly, but because the same genes that influence pigment are sometimes linked to neurological traits. So when your orange cat seems bold or your gray cat seems reserved, it is not coincidence. It is a pattern. Think about that for a second. This means your cat did not just become the way they are, they were wired this way from the start. And by the way, if your cat's personality ever seems to shift suddenly, like a calm cat becoming distant, do not brush it off. We will get to what that really means at the end, and it is something most owners wish they understood sooner. Because this is not just about color. It is about identity. Have you ever met two cats of the same color that act strangely similar? Most people think it is just coincidence. But here is what is actually happening. A behavioral study found that cat owners consistently reported similar personality traits in cats with the same coat colors, especially in orange, black, and tortoiseshell cats. Researchers who study feline behavior call this linked trait inheritance. But here is what that really means for you. Your cat's personality is not random, it is predictable in ways most people never realize. For example, tortoiseshell cats are often more reactive and emotionally expressive, orange cats tend to be more social and attention-seeking, and black cats are often calmer and more observant. But this is not about labeling your cat. It is about understanding them. Because when you recognize these patterns, you stop misreading their behavior. You stop thinking, why are they like this? And you start realizing this is how they experience the world. And here is where it gets even more powerful. Have you ever felt like your cat approaches you in a very specific way, almost like it is part of who they are? Most people think affection is just personality. But here is what is actually happening. Different coat-linked temperaments influence how cats use scent and social bonding behaviors. Cats with more social tendencies are more likely to engage in scent-marking behaviors like head-butting, rubbing, or sitting close to you. These actions deposit pheromones from scent glands located around the face and body. But emotionally, this is your cat claiming you. Marking you as safe, as familiar as theirs. Think about that for a second. Your cat is not just being affectionate. They are building a shared identity with you. And what makes this even more meaningful is that their tendency to do this is influenced by the way they are wired. By the color they were born with. So the next time your cat rubs against you, remember, this is not random. It is deeply personal. And hey, if this makes sense to you, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more cat lovers who actually want to understand what their cat is really saying. Have you ever wondered where these personality patterns even come from? Most people think domestic cats are completely removed from their wild ancestors. But here is what is actually happening. Your cat's behavior linked to their genetics has roots in survival instincts. Early feline ancestors developed different behavioral strategies to survive. Some were bold, exploratory, social. Others were cautious, observant, defensive. These strategies did not disappear when cats became domestic. They adapted. And now they show up in your home. In how your cat approaches you. In how they trust. In how they react to the world. Think about that for a second. Your cat is not just acting random. They are expressing something ancient. Something that existed long before you. But now it is directed at you. And that changes everything. Have you ever noticed your cat acting completely different around other people? Maybe they hide, maybe they stay distant. Most people think my cat just does not like strangers. But here is what is actually happening. Even if your cat has a genetically influenced temperament, how they express it is selective. Cats do not give their full personality to everyone. They filter it. So if your cat is playful, affectionate, or relaxed with you but not with others, that is not just personality. That is trust. What makes this even more meaningful is that your cat is choosing when to express their natural tendencies. And they are choosing you as the safe place to do it. Think about that for a second. Out of everyone in their environment, you are where they feel most like themselves. Not restrained, not cautious. Just them. And that is not something cats give lightly. So what does your cat's color really say about them? Here is what most owners never realize. It is not just describing your cat. It is revealing how they are wired to connect. Remember earlier when I said if your cat's personality suddenly changes, you should not ignore it. This is what I was talking about. Because once you understand that your cat's temperament is part of their genetic identity, you realize something deeper. When they open up to you, when they show affection, curiosity, playfulness, they are not just being nice. They are expressing their core self. And that is vulnerable. Because every cat has instincts that tell them to stay cautious, to stay guarded. But when they override that, when they lean into you in their own unique way, they are choosing connection over instinct. Think about that for a second. Your cat is not just living with you. They are adapting themselves for you. And that is where this becomes something most people never fully understand. This is not surface-level behavior. This is emotional risk. Have you ever felt like your cat just is not acting like themselves anymore? Most people assume they are just having a mood. But here is what is actually happening. If your cat's behavior shifts away from their natural tendencies, it can signal stress, discomfort, or even illness. Behavioral changes are often one of the earliest indicators that something is wrong. So if your social cat becomes withdrawn or your calm cat becomes reactive, that is not random. That is communication. Think about that for a second. Your cat is speaking in the only language they have. And this is where most owners get it wrong. They wait. They assume it will pass. But your cat is relying on you to notice. To understand. To respond. So do not ignore it. Because when you understand who your cat is at their core, you are the only one who can recognize when something is not right. So when you look at your cat's color, do you actually know what it means? It is not just fur. It is not just appearance. It is a window into how they experience the world. How they form trust. How they choose you. That is not just genetics. That is identity. And that identity shapes every interaction they have with you. So the next time your cat shows you affection in their own unique way, remember. That is not random. That is not simple. That is your cat expressing who they are and letting you be part of it. And that was never small to them. And it should not be small to you either.